Welcome to Conversations with the Chronicle. I'm Eric Crump with the Homewood Flossmoor Chronicle. It's Friday, December 12th, 2025, and our guest is Michael Grandinetti, who's an avid golfer, longtime member of Calumet Country Club before it was sold in 2019. He's also a director at the Chicago District Golf Association and has been for 28 years and is a past president of that organization. He's put together a partnership that is going to propose redeveloping Calumet Country Club as a golf course rather than resituating it as for industrial use, as has been proposed for the past 5 or 6 years. So welcome, Michael. We appreciate you joining us.
Well, Eric, I thank you for the opportunity to tell the story today. I really appreciate it. Actually, this whole package that we're proposing the Village of Hazel Crest was more than something that I initiated or put together. We have a very strong partnership with the Donald Ross Society, and it really started a few months ago when a former member of Calumet, who's a younger gentleman, a financial advisor, said to me, I'm thinking about trying to put together a group of investors and purchase Calumet. And his vision was to operate it as a public facility, public-private, some memberships where people would get preferred tee times, but really either renovate the existing clubhouse or put in a new clubhouse that would also have overnight accommodations. So we could ultimately make it a destination club, which I thought was a very good idea because obviously after 45 years of being a member there, it was hard for me to see it in the condition it currently is and know that someday it was going to be plowed under. So I told him that I thought the first step would be to sit down with the Village of Hazel Crest and find out where they're at. You know, what do they want to see happen? Are they, are they in favor of an industrial development? Are they likely to grant the variance for that? Or would they be amenable to some sort of proposal that would maintain it as open space, maintain the quality of life in the south suburbs, provide some social benefits, and generate revenue? Because we would be looking at a 24-hour, or I'm sorry, a 12-month-a-year operation, because we would have some ancillary offerings besides golf, cross-country skiing, building an indoor facility with simulators, so people could come in, and of course this would all be open to the public. So I reached out to the Village of Hazel Crest, told them that we wanted to come in and talk to them about this, alternate plan for Calumet. They got back to me and said they would be interested, and they had a busy schedule, and they'd let me know when they cleared their schedule and we could get together. Well, in the interim, I became aware of the Donald Ross Golf Society and that they had an initiative to try and do basically the same thing.
We should stop for just a second and explain why the Donald Ross Society has an interest in this particular golf course.
Calumet is a Donald Ross golf course, and for any golfer that immediately registers because he did 300 plus golf courses around the country. All right, and so the linkage to Donald Ross, saving this what we consider a Donald Ross treasure, was very important. Also, there's some historical linkage with golf to Byron Nelson.
Oh yeah.
Okay. For the golfers out there, and maybe for people who are not exactly avid golfers but have followed the game a bit, Byron Nelson won 11 straight tournaments in 1945, a record that'll probably never be broken, mainly because today the golfers don't play 11 times in a row. So it's probably a record like Joe DiMaggio's and a few others that'll never be broken. But he won number 8 of 11 at Calumet in 1945. Exactly the Chicago Victory Open, which was a replacement for the U.S. Open, which was suspended during the war years.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so there's that. In fact, we were fortunate enough to have Byron at Calumet for 2 days in 2001 for our centennial celebration.
Oh, wow.
So that's the historical linkage. That's what the Donald Ross Society wants to try and preserve. That's obviously that's what I'd like to preserve too.
Yeah, the preservation of an historic course is part of your mission. I wondered if we could talk a little bit about your organization and why it wants to be involved in this project.
Well, first of all, I think it's important to note that both the CDGA and the Donald Ross Society are not for-profits. We're engaged in this. Our charter is to promote and preserve the game of golf. So we're engaged in this to save the golf course and the history of the golf course. The Chicago District Golf Association was founded in 1914, and it was actually a collaboration of several private clubs. It's important to note that Calumet was one of those clubs.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a founded club. So Calumet has been part of the 14-year history of the CD. I'm sorry, it was founded in 1914. The 112-year history of the CDGA. So our interest, our involvement is purely that. We want to support the game of golf. We want to preserve the history of the game. We have some services, some programs that we do that in addition to administering golf tournaments, and will provide some benefits to the entire area. We have a Youth on Course program where we basically subsidize greens fees at courses that are part of the program to the point where they're $4 or $5 around for the golfer. So we have the foundation, which started in 1944, has offered golf as a therapeutic treatment for disabled golfers since that time. So we have a very extensive program for veterans. In fact, we have a 3-hole golf course behind our headquarters at Golf House where we conduct camps. But then we will conduct camps around the city too. We also, part of that program is for people with special needs. So some of the local recreation groups, in fact, for years, the Lincoln Way group was at Coyote Run. But that's, again, something that we promote and provide and support. We feel that besides preserving the golf course and the history, that we can bring some real positive social benefits to the community.
If you're successful, your programs could use the facility to
absolutely,
expand them, right?
Absolutely, we would, because we are always looking for sites to have camps. We're looking for sites for the veterans to play. So now, are there some direct benefits to us? Well, Calumet could be a site for some of our tournaments.
Yeah,
Right?
there you go.
In fact, every year I was a director that it was a private golf course. We had some sort of location, but again, there's no financial gain because we pay for the golf courses.
Okay,
So we actually pay the owners, or if it's a private club, the private club per player fee for the so.
Well, that maybe is a good opportunity to talk a little bit more about your partnership, because it's not just your two nonprofit organizations trying to tackle this project. You've got other partners.
This really it's amazing. I'm still amazed, and I'm not sure how we did it because I met Vaughn from the Donald Ross Society, I think by phone a little over a week ago. And there was an RFP due Tuesday that was basically a survey type thing for end use for the club. And so we literally had he came Friday, drove into Chicago area Friday, and met with the principals of the CDGA, actually attended our annual meeting and holiday party. And between then and the RFP date, we put together a pretty strong team. Besides the CDJ and the Ross Society, the golf course architect firm, Nagel, Wadsworth Golf Construction, that's been intimately involved in golf course construction around the country, but has done a lot of work in, and they're a very solid competitor or contributor to our foundation.
Yeah.
So they've supported us through the years. On the media side, we have a gentleman named Tim Cronin, who's a freelance sports writer, does a lot of articles for our magazine, written numerous golf publications. And we have the Fried Egg, which is a national, in fact, they're just 10 years old now, so they can give us the national exposure that we will need as we, attract golfers from outside the Chicago area.
Yeah.
Right now, our vision for when the golf course is complete, obviously, is to make the greens fees affordable for the local area. We're not trying to build a Pebble Beach where you now pay, I think, $750 to play the golf course, and then you have to stay at the lodge, which is another $300 or $400 a night.
Yeah.
So that's not the direction we're headed. Now, will we ask people from outside the Chicago area to pay a bit more? Yes, we will. But anyone who's going to travel to play a golf course is certainly willing to pay a bit more.
Okay.
So I think when you look at the list of, we have an environmental group that will be able to analyze air quality both currently and what would the impact of any kind of increase in the volume of combustion engine vehicles in the area.
Yeah.
We have an urban planner who can assess the impact of industrial development as opposed to open space on the area. We have a local civil engineering group that will come on board. We have I think that the group that's done the most to keep Calumet as a public course that it's been for the last years is the South Suburbs for Green Space. They're very, very much a part of what we're doing now. So pretty solid team. Like I said earlier, when I sit back and reflect on what we've done over the last less than a week, I'm amazed. I really am. And when we show it to people, they're really impressed. So I think we've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, and hopefully. And we did respond to the RFP. We were late, in fact, almost a day late, but within 4 hours we got a response back from the village of Hazelcrest indicating they wanted to meet with us.
Okay.
So I think it's all been very positive. I think, again, the impact on the south suburbs will be extremely positive.
All right. Well, we probably should mention here, too, that industrial use is still on the table. There's another company that has a real estate development company that's involved, right?
We'll be. We don't deny the fact that the greatest revenue generating possibility for the village, in terms of taxes, is industrial.
Yeah.
We know that, and that's still on the table. I suspect that some of the respond. I don't know who responded to the RFP. I suspect I could find out because it should be a matter of public record. You probably could find out because it should be a matter of public record. But I suspect there were industrial developers that, and probably had some token combination of open space that to try and placate the area residents. But the greatest, and we know that, but we think that will generate fairly significant revenue too when we're up and running totally, whenever, and we get the national exposure and we get the regional and national golfers coming to the golf course. So we think, but we think that the benefits to the south suburban area and directly to the people who live around the golf course far outweigh what might be lost in revenue.
Okay.
So. And as I said, I think we have a really good story to tell and a good team, and I think we can develop the confidence that we can deliver, because that's the important thing. And telling stories is easy to do, but delivering what you've promised is the, and in my 40-year career in sales, I still have, and I've been retired for several years, I still have customers who'll take my phone call and will be glad to hear from me because I try to make sure we delivered on the promises that we made.
Okay.
So,
Well, now the ball's in Hazel Crest's court, so we'll see then how they respond and go from there.
yeah, I'm looking for, they did indicate they wanted to try and get together before the holidays,
Okay.
but they have a busy schedule. We understand that, but
Well-
we are flexible and are looking forward to the opportunity to tell them what we can do.
Okay, we'll check back with you and see how things unfold. I want to thank you for taking the time to explain your vision and the team that you've got put together to try to make it happen. So
Well,
we'll see.
again, thank you for the opportunity. You know, as I said, I think we can do some positive for this
Yeah.
area.
Okay, terrific.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
All right, good luck to you. Thanks.